Hello, dear friends, again. And I'm back, and I must admit, I went to get a beer. It's been a crazy week, you guys. We should always treat ourselves to whatever we want on a Friday or a Saturday. Oh boy. You need to unwind. Cerveza Fridays. Cerveza Viernes. You guys, okay. So I'm doing another reading on Jeremy Corbyn. Or I'm doing another reading, and this time is on Jeremy Corbyn, and then I've never done a reading on him before. Let's see, Jeremy Corbyn. And this man is the leader of the Labour Party, and I've always known a bit about him because I always loved the news since I was a little kid. I've always been, watching the news, and the BBC is one of my favorite channels to watch. Versus the BBC is one of my favorite news sources. And so yeah, so I'm gonna do a reading on him, and he seems to have always fought for. Oh, and I left the Hobbit because he's also another leader. He's been in this game for a very long time. So he's fought for the rights of all the races as to be equal to one another. And I know that there's going to be trolls, and I know there's going to be people that are going to contradict me, but this is what I saw in my background check on him. I call it background check for my readings because I just do a small little Wikipedia kind of, or Google search, or Yahoo search, and then I start to get more information on them. And honestly, when I did the John Lewis Cup and I did Jeremy Corbyn for the first time that I've ever in my life, I was crying. Tears were coming down, pouring, especially for John Lewis. My tears were just pouring and pouring as I was doing my meditation on them for my cups. And I thought, okay, this is because I love John Lewis. But when I did Jeremy Corbyn, I also started crying. I was like, oh, okay, so these guys are good guys. These guys are good guys. That was the feeling that I got from them. And so yeah, I did a cup reading on him, and here is his cup reading. But I start off with the tarot. And Jeremy Corbyn, I wanted to say something like, okay, so John Lewis is a Pisces, and Jeremy Corbyn is a Gemini. And, a lot of people say that Geminis are two-faced, and I hate that. I hate when people say that. It's not that they're two-faced. If you know the mythology about the Gemini, it's about two twins, Castor and Pollux. Castor was the mortal son of King Tyndaris, while Pollux was the immortal son of Zeus. Okay? So one of them was immortal and one of them was mortal. When the mortal son died, the brother that was immortal asked his immortal father Zeus to help him to do something, to help his brother live. And so, in order for them to both live, when one is alive, the other one has to be asleep, and when the other one's asleep, the other brother wakes up. So even though they can never be together, the immortal sacrificed part of his life to give to his brother. So that should tell you a lot about the Gemini. That whole thing that they're two-faced, we all have a two-face, okay? Like sometimes I have to bite my tongue when someone is saying some, bull crap about Trump and how he's saving the country. And just so that I won't rip their eyes out, I just gotta like bite my tongue and be like, so that's in a way, it's kind of like, you're not gonna always want to show your face. You want to, sometimes the person doesn't know what you're talking about or where you come from. So in order for you to be kind and not to be aggressive towards them, sometimes you have to bite your tongue, look down, and keep on going. That's not, in a way, they call that two-faced, but for me, I'm like, that's just not trying to kill everyone that is has a different opinion than you. So that's my take on Geminis. Now, all of us, every sign has many faults, as also many virtues. Like, okay, so Boris Johnson is a Gemini, Donald Trump is a Gemini. Almost all the guys that are in power now are Geminis. That's strange. For all of you astrologers out there, can you look into that? Can you guys look into that? Why are all these guys Geminis? What's going on? Okay, so let me do the reading on Jeremy. And I picked the King of Swords because he is an air sign. Gemini Corbyn. Tell us about Jeremy Corbyn. Tell us about Jeremy Corbyn. Tell us about Jeremy Corbyn. One more time, guys. Bear with me. Jeremy Corbyn. Jeremy Corbyn. This covers him. 5 of Cups. Oh, sadness coming his way. He has lost something, but something remains. That is in line perfectly with my cup. These are his obstacles. Ace of Wands. Energy. Physical energy, even. Virility. That's going to become an issue for him. This crowns him. 7 of Swords. Oh, yes. Not a good card. 7 of Swords. So losses and trickery against him. They're going to try to trick this man. This is beneath him. Justice. Upside down. Okay, so the scales are not tipped in his favor right now. He feels that way. Let's see if it's really true. This is in his recent past. Knight of Swords. Okay, violence and people coming in attacking him. Did you see that in the newspaper? It came out like a Jewish newspaper saying that Jeremy Corbyn was anti-Semitic only because he doesn't think Palestinians are evil people. So they're painting him as if just because he is saying that Palestinians deserve to be heard, somehow that he's anti-Semitic. I don't think so. You know, a lot of the people that are giving money to Israel here in the United States are evangelicals, and they love Jewish people. And I've spoken to many evangelicals. Okay? And you know what they tell me? Oh my God, you guys. With friends like that, who needs enemies? The reason, I get so angry. The reason that they give all this money is because they believe that in the end times, Jesus is going to come and he's going to go to Israel and he's going to fill up a part of Israel with blood all the way up to like the horse's chest. That's how much blood is going to be there. And like 2/3 of the Jewish people are going to die. And when 2/3 of the Jewish people die, that day, the evangelicals and all those Christians will be saved by Jesus. Whew, they're going to be saved and brought up to heaven. So they're okay with 2/3 of the Jewish people dying so that they could live. What kind of love is that? I'm sorry. I don't want any Jewish person dying for me. I'd rather die for someone else. I don't want no one dying for me. That is not true love. For me, true love is you want the Jews and you want the Palestinians and you want the Muslims. You want everyone to work everything out and you want them to be able to live peacefully. That's true love. Just because you send a bunch of money so that then later on they could kill each other, that's not real love. Okay, so anyone that's against that says, oh yeah, the Palestinians should be heard because that's the only way to peace, and doesn't say, oh, let's kill all the Palestinians so that the Jews could live, somehow that they're anti-Semitic. I don't think so. I want the Jews to be able to live in peace, and I want the Palestinians to be able to live in peace as well. And I know you guys want the same thing too. So I don't see that being a fair assessment of Jeremy Corbyn. Oh my God, I get into these rants. I'm sorry, guys. Hi, that's the New Yorker in me. Oh, shoot. Hold on. In the upcoming future, 7 of Cups, disillusionments. There's going to be disbelief, lies, things coming his way. The Essence, 2 of Swords, phone calls. Oh, wires, emails. We're going to hear all over the news about him. We're going to hear some news. Phone, email, television, radio, satellite, the whole 9 yards. There's going to be a lot of Jeremy Corbyn news coming up. The Hierophant is the environment, the government. So the government is going to back him up somehow. Okay, that's his environment. Hopes and fears. Three of Wands. Oh, so he feels he can't look to the future. That's his fear, not to be able to see the future. And what is to come. Ten of Swords upside down. You guys, I'm so sorry. And that matches with my cup. That matches with my cup. And I hope you will forgive me. I hope you will forgive me. But you know, you ask me for these readings and I do the readings. And as I said, my end goal is to one day to be able to help people find their loved ones in the woods, in the ocean, things like that, or a missing child. That is my goal, to be one day be able to help, like, you know, psychic forensic files, things like that. Like the psychic helps them find somebody. That's my dream. So I'm trying to fine tune my abilities so that I can be able to do that. And so when I did the cup for Jeremy Corbyn, it's not all bad news, you guys. It's not all bad news. I wish I had someone very dear to me pass away in 2015. My aunt, who was like my grandmother. My mom is the youngest. She's the baby of the family, and she's a lot. Her mother had her, my grandmother had her in her 40s, so she's the baby of the family. And my aunt basically raised her when her mother died. So my aunt was like my grandmother. And since she passed away, I deleted Facebook, Instagram. I don't have any of that. I don't have any of that. That's why I'm so bad with YouTube and answering back right away. I'm not used to that. I'm not used to that stuff. Like, I live peacefully. Like, I did away with Facebook. I was so depressed I couldn't deal with it. Anyway, my thing is that she died of a brain tumor. And if I didn't do the cup on her. We did not do any cups back then. We were so busy that we pushed our family tradition aside. This is one of the reasons I brought it back, because we were like pushing it aside and we were just focusing on making money and trying to, you know, attain property here in the United States and do all this and do all that. And it cost us dearly. But here is my cup and Jeremy Corbyn. And I hope you guys in the UK can forgive me. So here's Jeremy Corbyn. And there's something going on. Again, I'm just going to get it out of the way, you guys. I'm getting it out of the way. There's something going on with the right side of the front to middle part of his head. It might be a tumor. He might have a brain tumor. And here we have a woman that is always with him. She has tons and tons of hair, and she's an older woman. I don't know if it's his relative or a colleague. I don't know. There's a younger woman from another territory that works with him. She is the saddest. She is the saddest. She's destroyed whenever they found out about what he has going on in his head. Now, if any of you guys know Jeremy Corbyn or close to him, I don't know how you're going to tell him, because if you tell him some psychic in the United States and from New York said that you're going to have a brain tumor, he's not going to believe you guys. So I don't know how you're going to get it across to him, but if you know him, tell him to go right away, get an MRI, okay? I see a lady, like I said, an older lady, a younger girl who's always with him, devastated. This younger girl, she's of shorter stature. She's from an area where there's beaches and waters and things like that. But she works with him, and there's other people too. They're all destroyed. So what that's telling me is that he's a very beloved man. They're all very, very sad. But the good news is that I see him still standing, and he has a long way to go, and he's not going to be passing away anytime soon, okay? But if you know Jeremy Corbyn, or if you know anyone that knows him, tell him to go get a freaking MRI immediately. This is the bad thing about reading the cups. It's crazy things that sound like conspiracy theories, like sound like some crazy cat lady, which I kind of am. Like, I love animals. I have cats, I have rabbits, and all this sort of things. But yeah, so that's what comes up for Jeremy. So here he is again. He's going to work, and he works in a building that is like on top of another hill. And it's kind of thin on top, And here he is with the issue in his head, and he's talking to this other lady. The older lady, who has a bunch of dark hair, will be taking his place for a while he goes and gets checked and takes some sort of bed rest. But he'll be back to work, you guys. He'll be back to work, and he'll be working with these other people here. And the woman will be assisting him. Boris Johnson comes up in the cup, and there's bills and money involved. Like, Boris Johnson wants to talk to him because from Boris Johnson's team, there's going to be 3 people, at least 3 people leaving Boris Johnson to go to Jeremy Corbyn's team. And when he is sick, when Jeremy Corbyn is on rest or is getting treatment or is being treated or I don't know, when he's away from his normal routine, trying to get the proper medical care, there's something going to be going on with the London Bridge. I don't know if they're going to light it up in his honor, if they're going to, something's going to happen with the London Bridge there. And then I see at the bottom of the cup, there's going to be some sort of sinkhole in the city. Yeah, that's what I see. In the middle of a populous area, I don't know if it's a city or suburb, but in the middle of a populous area, there's going to be some sort of sinkhole. And again, I apologize. I hate to be the bearer of bad news for you guys, but it's not all bad because it seems like he's going to be around for a long while, you know? So he's going to get it in time. And I wish I would have been lucky enough to have had caught my aunt's brain tumor in time. I would give my life. I would give my both arms and both legs and even my life to have her back. He will get it in time. He will get it in time, and he will get the treatment that he needs, and he will be around for a while. And yeah, the sinkhole in the middle of the city. I wanted to give also a small little shout out. I know after that I don't feel like giving shout outs, but back on my cup for October 30th that I did on sturgeon, and I said that there was going to be winds, strong winds in Scotland, for everyone to be careful. My thoughts are with you guys, and all the love and all the best wishes for you in Scotland. I hope everything's okay. I know you guys are having severe weather up there, and I did say that on my cup, and I told you guys to take precautions. Hopefully you did, and hopefully you're doing well. Keep in tune with the news. Make sure you're up to par with all the current weather warnings. And if you need to be rescued, call. And if you need to leave your home, call. But if you don't need to and you have preparations, make sure you stay warm, you stay hydrated, and you have the proper food. Like I said, try to have food that you don't need to heat because you may lose power. So yeah, so I hope you guys are all well. I love everyone in the UK. Thank you so much. You guys have been so supportive. All the best wishes. I hope nothing happens to any one of you. All the best from the bottom of my heart. And I will see you again soon. Thank you for viewing my channel, and thank you for being here. Have a great weekend.